Hello students. Today we are going to learn part 2 of chapter 3, that is production and cost. And in the previous part we saw about law of variable proportion and law of return to scale, and we were talking about production function. So in this session we are going to talk about cost. First of all, we need to understand that what is cost. It is the firm of the individual operating in a marketing has the influence on the market supply of the commodity. And in order to make the use of various factor and non-factor input, you have to incur certain cost. So the amount spent on these input for producing a commodity is called as cost of production. Like let's say for example, in order to produce a pen, you have to have various inputs, or you need to have various variable and non-variable factors. So all the costs have to be incurred to purchase raw material, machines, tools, equipment, and addition of all that expenditure is known as cost of production. Now let's study the various concepts of cost. The first one is money cost. The amount spent in terms of money for the production of the commodity is known as money cost. And nominal cost means the money cost of production, and real cost is the mental and physical sacrifices undergone with a view to produce a commodity, which means all the physical efforts and sacrifices which workers or employees or the producer have undergone to produce that particular commodity. Next is opportunity cost. The real concept of production of a given commodity is the next best alternative sacrificed, which means that opportunity cost is the one wherein in order to produce one commodity, you have to sacrifice the other. Like let's say farmer can produce both rice and wheat, but if he decides to produce rice, then he will have to let go the opportunity to produce wheat. So that is the alternative sacrificed in order to obtain the other commodity. So that is known as an opportunity cost. Next one is sunk cost. Now, it means that firm buys a piece of equipment, for example, that cannot be converted into another use. That is your sunk cost. Another example we can take is expenditure on the equipment is a sunk cost because you don't have any alternative, or such cost cannot be recovered. And the decision to buy the equipment might have been good or bad, but now it does not matter because once you are going to use it, you're not going to get that back. Next one is your implicit cost. It is the cost of self-owned resources, such as salary of the proprietor himself. Like let's say, for example, that you are the owner and you are using your own land, or you are using your own factory, which is the land which is provided to you. So you're not going to pay rent for that. That is your implicit cost. And explicit cost is the paid out cost, which means payment which are made for productive resources or anything which you are purchasing to produce a commodity. So what is accounting or business cost? Cash payment which firms make for factor and non-factor input, depreciation, and other bookkeeping entries are called as accounting or business cost. Next one is the social cost. It is the amount of cost the society bears due to industrialization. Like let's say for example that due to industrialization there have been many factories which are producing hazardous chemical which is polluting the environment, be it air pollution, water pollution, or soil pollution. So it is a social cost. Next one is entrepreneur's cost. The cost of production in the sense of money cost or expenses of production. Now we have already seen the accounting cost, that these are the actual or outlay cost, and these cost points out how much expenditure has already been incurred on particular commodity or during the particular process of that production. And economic costs are one which are related to future. They are in the nature of the incremental cost. We also have direct and indirect cost. Direct are the costs which that have direct relationship with a unit of operation like product or process or department of the firm. Like we can say as variable cost, which keeps on varying. And indirect costs are those whose source cannot be easily and definitely traced to a plant or a product or a process. Like we have fixed cost. Next is controllable cost. These are the costs which are capable of being controlled or regulated by the executive's vigilance, and therefore they can be used for assessing executive efficiency. And non-controllable costs are the one which are beyond the control of the people in the organization. So they are the one which cannot be subjected to administrative control or supervision. Now let's study about short run cost. In the short run, at least one factor of production is fixed and output can be varied only by adding more variable factor, which we have already seen in the last session. Now fixed cost remains constant and they are also known as the short run cost. And these kind of cost includes cost on managerial staff, expenditure on depreciation, maintenance cost of the factory. So these are the examples of such fixed or short run cost. Next we have is variable cost. It means that it can vary directly with the level of output. So as you keep on increasing the variable cost, your level of output also increases. It is used in actual production process and the function of output also changes with the variable cost. Like let's say example raw materials or cost of direct labor. So as you keep on increasing labor or raw material, your cost also increases or decreases if you are decreasing the raw material. So what is total cost? Now, sum of your fixed cost and variable cost gives you total cost. So total cost is nothing but total variable cost, that is TVC, plus TFC, that is total fixed cost. Let's say for example, if I'm using 100 rupees for producing a commodity, and out of that 100 rupees, 30 rupees is my fixed cost and the rest 70 rupees is my variable cost. Let's say I'm spending on raw materials and other things. So when I add both the cost, I get my total cost. Now when we talk about average cost, there are three types: average fixed cost, average variable cost, and average total cost. Now average fixed cost, it is the per unit cost of fixed factor, that whatever fixed factor which we have, and the per unit of that is known as average fixed cost. And how do we find out that? So AFC is nothing but your total fixed cost, that what is your total cost upon Q. And average variable cost is, it is per unit cost of variable cost. So total variable cost upon Q. And average total cost is nothing but it is the total cost divided by number of units produced. So sum of average fixed cost and variable cost. So ATC is TC, that is total cost, upon Q, that is the number of quantity produced. We can see in this diagram, we can focus on three things alone, that is average total cost, average variable cost, and marginal cost. We can see all the curves are U-shaped, and marginal cost, it starts below and then it starts increasing and cutting your variable, that is average total cost and average variable cost. We can see the change in the fixed cost and there is no effect. A rise in fixed cost has no effect on marginal cost. It's simply because an upward shift in the average cost curve. This is the same as we saw in the last diagram. That marginal cost, it starts from below and it cuts the variable cost and the average cost. So let's understand what is marginal cost. Change in the total cost resulting from the unit change in the total quantity produced. So your marginal cost is nothing but change in quantity due to change in your total cost with every additional unit of the commodity which is being used. Now we can see the short run cost of production, and if a marginal cost is below the average cost, then average must be falling. Even if MC, that is your marginal cost, is rising, your average cost falls if your MC is less than AC. And for this reason, marginal cost curve intersects the average cost curve at the lowest point of the AC curve. Now, what is long run cost curve? It is the period of time during which the quantities of all factors or variables as well as fixed can be adjusted. As we had seen in the last session also, that in the long run, we can make adjustment into the all the factor or all the inputs, be it variable or be it fixed. So long run average cost curve slopes downward. There is larger scope of specialization of labor and machineries, and we can also make changes into technological management. And in the long run marginal cost curve, it cuts the long run average cost at the lowest point, and it is equal to LRAC when your long run average cost is neither rising nor it is falling. So we can see over here that in the blue line above, we can see that there is inflection point. Inflection point is the point where the curve starts or the curve shifts its curve. So when the shape of the curve starts shifting, that particular point where it has shifted its shape of the curve, it's known as point of inflection. So this is the makeup of the total cost in the short run and long run. We can see that in the short run, we have variable and implicit cost, variable and explicit cost, fixed and implicit cost, and we have fixed and explicit cost. Whereas in the long run, as I said, that we can have all the factors or inputs as variable. So we have variable and implicit cost, and we have variable and explicit cost. So from the law of variable proportion, theory of production and theory of cost, it may not be understood that there is no hope for raising the standard of living of mankind. But the fact is that we can suspend the operation of diminishing return by continuously improving the technique of production through the progress in science and technology. Thank you.